I'm Shiva.
I'm Sandy.
And this is
Our Relaxing Hobby. Hello.
Hi.
Tonight's episode is going to be about the proper way to set up, prepare, start a tank, I guess. I don't know. How do you want to say that?
And then there's our way.
Then there's the Shiva way.
Oh, like
But-
you haven't done the same way.
Okay, yeah, but we, in our defense though, we have the ability to make it a little bit faster.
Right, and we'll tell you about that.
And we'll tell you about that. So let's start with let's start with just easy. You get a 10-gallon tank. Most people,
Right.
10-gallon, 20-gallon tank.
Yeah.
You get it from the store. It has everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
It has your rocks. It has your filter. It has your air pump of some kind. Air stone, whatever.
Yeah.
You put it all in the tank.
Usually. Now some don't.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, 'cause we're just going to starter kit.
Yeah.
Most of the 10-gallon,
so
20-gallon starter
basically
kit.
your starter kit is composed of
Right.
your filter.
The tank.
Well, the tank.
The tank.
Oh.
The rocks.
Usually.
The filter.
Mm-hmm.
The air
and
pump,
stuff.
air stone, and the heater. And some of them have heaters, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the type of fish you have, you need a heater. Light of some type, usually on the hood.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it for a starter kit. I
Yeah,
mean, they might have some ornaments.
Chemicals.
Some some of them come with the chemicals already, which okay, but we're not even gonna get to that part yet. Okay,
Right.
so you add your water.
Now, why don't we explain are you going to explain which each of these components are for?
Was that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you obviously the gravel's for the gravel.
Okay, well, gravel
Sorry.
actually serves a purpose.
Yes, it is a media.
Gravel is a media in order to grow the bacteria that you need in order to create a healthy environment for your fish.
Right.
Now, there are some people who don't use gravel in their tanks, which is fine. It
Right,
is an
sand,
excellent
gravel, you
But
don't
you
have to have
need-
either, but it's
But
better
you
to
do
have some
need
kind of
to
media.
have some sort of medium in there.
Right, something that
Either
grows bacteria.
Either that or a damn good filter.
Right, okay.
If you're not going to have any, you do see people, especially ones with big fish like arowanas and whatnot, that don't have any ornamentation in their fish. They just literally have a tank and a filter. That's fine. But
As long as you have a really
better
good
be
filter.
a damn good filter.
Right, because the media is very important.
You have to be able to grow a lot of bacteria in order to keep that water
Right.
condition right.
Right. So and then then there's so then let's start with the filter.
Mm-hmm.
The filter is to kind of get out all the bad stuff, I guess.
Well, it filters through the water and
Yeah,
it
cleans
sends
the
the
water.
water through the bacteria.
Right.
Basically, the components of a filter is that you have the media that's inside the filter, and that's where you're raising your bacteria. I know it sounds horrible, bacteria, but
It's gross.
honestly,
Yeah, you
it's
don't
good.
ever actually once you get the bacteria, when you rinse it out, when you're cleaning it, you don't rinse it all the way out. You don't
Yeah.
clean it completely because you want that
You
bacteria.
want that bacteria
Yeah.
because that creates
It's not a
healthy
bad thing.
environment for your fish.
Right.
And it's also
That's
part
why
of
if
your
you've ever,
cycle.
real quick, I know you don't use them, but the 10-gallon tanks have the filter you put on the side, and it has the exchangeable filter cartridge, and then it has this black sponge kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You leave the black sponge thing alone, or if you take it out, you just rinse it lightly. That's where all the bacteria is. The disposable filter has a lot on it too, but most you just throw that away and put a clean one in.
That's usually your charcoal.
That's the charcoal.
Which removes smell.
Which yeah. But you do want to leave that black thing. That's where your bacteria is.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people thought, I got to clean that off completely. No, you don't
No,
want to.
you don't.
You want to leave that alone. I know
Yeah.
it looks disgusting. You might want to rinse it once in a while, get it so it can still flow through because it will clog.
Yep.
But okay,
Now,
so I'm just
there-
giving them for the
there are-
10-gallon people.
Right, there are several different types of filters. I've seen the under gravel ones, which I don't really recommend. They don't work as well.
Right. Yeah.
I think
Some people like them. I've never been a
they've
fan.
kind of gone out of vogue. They were
Yeah.
really popular in the 80s.
Yeah.
But then there's what she was talking about, the over the side filter, which
Right.
is usually when you have the hoods, they have those holes
Right.
pulled out so you can fit your filter there.
Right. It's the most common for the 10
Yeah,
gallon.
they
She
are
hates them.
I hate them. They're the most common. I just absolutely
I
hate
used
them.
one for years until we got the sponge filters,
Right.
Which we are hugely in love with.
Yes,
Hugely
the
in love with. They
sponge
are the best thing ever created so far for fish tanks.
Yes,
I don't care.
The sponge filters we've done an episode about before.
Right.
Those
By all means,
are-
go back and look because they're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, those are.
We love them. We
Those
are
are
going to-
recent. Those are
Those
more
are-
recent.
Right.
You didn't see them for a while. Now you see them more and more, and I'm
Right.
actually starting to see them in stores now. I had to special order ours,
Right. They are
but
great.
I am starting to see them in stores now. And then the other one, and that's something that I used a lot simply because I had large fish and I had dirty fish like koi and comets and whatnot, is the submersible filters, which are the filter boxes.
Yeah, the ones that
Most people put them in ponds. I would put them in the aquariums because I would
Right.
have carp.
Right.
You know, really dirty fish,
Right.
you needed to have
And
that
then
kind
she
of
would
power.
clean those out about once, rinse them out gently about once a week.
About once a week.
Yeah.
So
But I mean,
those
it's
are the four
okay.
four
And
most
then-
common type
Yeah,
of filters.
and then you have the air stone, air bubbles, whatever you want
Aeration.
to, aeration. You have to have aeration. That's very important for all tanks. You have to
Right.
have aeration.
Now, a lot
I know
of-
some people think it's silly.
Well, a lot of the times people will use their filter as an aeration as well. Like, well, think
It
about
helps. It does
think
help,
about the
but
ones
you
that
still-
are the ones that are over the
Yeah, it
side,
splashes the water.
They do the waterfall, and then the
It's still
sponge
honestly
ones.
the sponge. Yeah, the sponge ones are definitely you
bubble out.
don't really need an extra water. Depends on the size of the tank. If you have, in the size
Well,
of
we
the filter.
usually have two.
Right,
per
right. We have a
55.
lot of. We like aeration. We're really big on it.
Yeah.
It really does makes everything in there healthier. Makes more,
And fish like playing with bubbles.
And the fish like playing with bubbles.
Yeah.
I mean, stupid Lucifer plays with the bubbles all the time. But anyway, we won't go
I
there.
mean, we have betas who play in bubbles.
Yeah. So, but anyway, bubbles are cool. They look cool anyway.
But they actually do
But
serve
they are serve a
purpose.
purpose. So there's your basic. Then you put the water in. Now, if you don't have well water, which we do, so you also have to treat the water. Now, this is the basic setting up the
Well,
tank. If
this-
you use your tap water, is what I'm talking about.
Well, this also depends on what kind of fish you have. Like, keep in mind that we have well water here, which means it's very hard.
Hard, right.
Which is perfect for carp, but not so great for like cichlids.
Yeah, it's not so great for the rams.
Yeah, the rams
The
we
ram-
actually
the
have to
rams
get spring water.
Yeah, we did the German rams,
Mhm.
and we put them in well water. We didn't know
they-
enough, and they didn't make
They
it.
didn't make it.
The
Now we know.
electrics are okay with it, but
Mhm.
the black ones needed spring water.
Right.
So it
now
just
we
really
get
does
spring
depend.
water.
But again, that's
now,
the type of fish you
another
need to
thing-
research.
Right.
What type of fish you're going to get,
And you also
what
have
type
to,
of water
you
is
also have
recommended.
to you also have to research what kind of water you have because
Right.
like city water often has chlorine in it.
Right. Well, that was my when
Mhm.
you first put the water in, you get tap water. You put it in, because most people are going to use their tap water. You have to then dechlorinate the water. They sell, stuff you just put in the tank. I don't even know. It's
Liquid
easy
dechlor.
right, easy something, but make sure it says dechlorinator. It says it dechlorinates the water. It's very important for water that's tap water to dechlorinate your water
Yeah,
because
sure,
you will
alright.
kill the fish by accident. That Sandy has done that. I killed all the betas that we had. We had 5-6 betas, and I wasn't paying attention, and I thought I had spring water, and I didn't, and I put tap water in and
Oops.
killed all 6 of my betas within 20 minutes.
Yeah. See, I've
So,
never had that problem because I've had a well.
Right, you have a well. So it is very important to dechlorinate the water if you're using tap water.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you first start a tank, you don't want to just throw the fish in there. You can put some start right in there,
Mhm.
but you still need to cycle the water. It's called cycling the water.
Mhm.
And that normally takes, a week, 2 weeks, depending on the water?
It depends on the water. It depends on whether or not you're using start right. On
Yeah.
the average, some people on the average
They average
say
about a week, is what they've always told me is a week.
It again
It
depends on the size.
right. I've never, with 10s and 20s, usually about a week to 2 weeks, I'd say a
But
week.
like with larger tanks, you can talk a month or two.
Right. If you're doing it the right way, from scratch,
Yeah.
even with
Basically,
Start Right, but if everything brand new,
Now here's something.
you want to wait until you have your first, I put live plants in.
Yeah,
Best
you
thing
need
you
to
can do.
have
Best thing you
something
can do
live
for
in there.
best thing you can do for a new tank. And I know some people don't do it because they get their little 10-gallon starter tank that have the plastic plants. The best thing you can do is buy a couple of live plants, throw them in there. It will make it quicker.
Another thing you're going to want to do is just put a little pinch of fish food in there.
Yep, just not a
because
whole bunch, not every day. Just
You
a little.
basically need something to feed the bacteria that you're trying to cultivate.
You need to basically let that stuff drop to the bottom and
cultivate bacteria.
look ugly. But not a whole bunch, just a little. But again, live plants, a little tiny bit of food, and then basically you have to wait a week.
Another trick is to get a few like ghost shrimp.
Yeah,
and put those
but
in
you
there
still want to
because
wait a day or
that'll
two even for those.
Yeah, a day or two, and then put some ghost shrimp in there. That they will eat the excess food that you put in there. They will continue the life cycle.
Right, and then
help
they'll
with-
actually help.
Right, and you don't feel bad
Some
if they
people
die.
recommend, I know that when I had the bigger tank the first time, I was told to, because I started everything from scratch, I was told to put in the ghost shrimp after about 2 or 3 days, and then wait another 2 or 3 days and put in a couple of just little minnows, just little fish that unfortunately they say don't matter. I think all fish matter because I love them, but throw a couple of those in there to help the life cycle kind of kickstart for the bigger tank. It worked in my case. In some cases, I mean, first
Well,
time
I mean,
I ever made a tank, I killed every single fish because
I
no
mean-
one told me any of this.
Well, here
I literally put the water in,
Yeah.
put the start right in, threw the fish in, and everybody died within a week.
Now here's a cute little trick when it comes to needing starter fish that you don't want to keep around for too long. If you happen to have a freshwater lake or a river or something in your area, catch a few minnows from there. We've got a
Right.
creek in the backyard that
Right.
we catch fish in. Throw a couple of those in there until you're cycled, and then return them in the wild.
I'm
Really
saying
easy.
it's just you want to wait a couple of days to do it. Don't do it day one.
Yeah.
Because that's, it's honestly, the water's not ready, they're gonna die. I did dechlorinate mine when I was first starting out, the first tank I ever got. I dechlorinated, but they literally sold me the fish in the tank the same day. I put everything together, the fish store never, and it was a box store, I'm not gonna say which one. I had no idea what I was doing, and I literally put the fish, put it all together, put the fish in there, and literally within a day, every single fish died. I went back and bought more fish, and it all happened again.
Yeah.
Finally, I bumped into a human, a person, a
real
customer,
person.
a real person, a customer that actually explained to me the
Not
reason,
a corporate robot.
the reason it's happening, and then they explained to me about, you have to let the bacteria, you have to let it cycle. So
Now-
cycling is very important.
Yeah. Now there is one exception to this, and that's with betas.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
they just,
Betas, literally, a lot of them live in bowls.
yeah.
And they can. They don't need the
And I mean, honestly,
heavy
some-
filtration and the oxygen and stuff.
Yeah, they literally, I mean, I had, like I said, I had mine in there for 5 years, in the little octagons, and day one,
Mm-hmm.
never put a live plant in anyone, didn't know enough about it because it was well before I had any regular fish.
Yeah.
That's not a right thing to say. I mean, other fish,
Other
not
real fish instead
other,
of the fake
other,
betas.
other
that you
hard
had.
to live fish. But no, the betas, and again, and even like a common goldfish can live for a day or two in
Yeah.
proper conditions.
Yeah, but I'm talking about long term.
Long-term betas, my betas lived for 5 years before I made the mistake of forgetting to chlorinate the water,
Yeah.
dechlorinate it.
Yeah,
So-
let me bring up a suggestion real quick. Especially when you're new at fish keeping and you haven't gotten a routine done yet, do a checklist and keep it by your aquarium so you know right off the bat. Dechlorinate, do this, when did water change, when to
Right.
feed. It helps when you're getting your routine started.
Right,
Now it's like clockwork. I can do
Yeah.
mine in my sleep.
yeah.
I've been like half awake and we have 12 tanks here.
As a matter of fact, as soon as we finish, I have to go do my tank. But anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, betas are pretty hardy, but again, regular fish tanks, unless you're putting a bait in it by itself, you really wanna cycle them. Cycling is very important.
Yes.
Now, let's
talk about water testing real quick.
oh Lord, I didn't get to that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so used to our tanks with being, because it's so common for us to just do it. We don't even think about it. That's right. Yeah, water testing is important.
There are actually two types of good tests that you need to think about now. You can get the big pro ones that look like little mini chemistry kits. Most people aren't going to get those, so
Right.
I'm not going to talk about them today. Plus, I'd have Gareth talk about them because
Right.
he's the one who usually does the chemistry stuff.
Right.
Most people get the strips, the little ones that you
Yeah.
dip
Well,
in the
back
water.
in the day, they didn't have the strips, but
Yeah,
back
but
in the day,
now
it was
they
the
do.
chemistry. Yeah, the strips are amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
now you just
highly
dip a strip
Dip
in
a strip.
and look
There's
at
two
it.
strips. Well, some of
But-
them, I don't think all of them have the, no, there's
Well, that's why we're
yeah,
going to
okay.
talk about
There's
two of
two.
them. You
Okay.
actually need to get two types. You need to get the basic one, which will tell you your pH,
pH, nitrates,
pH, nitrate, nitrite, all that.
all that.
But then the other one you need to get is for ammonia.
Ammonia is a
Because
big
ammonia is a
thing.
killer.
Ammonia is the silent killer. Quick killer. Ammonia
Very
will kill.
quick.
Ammonia will kill small tetras and guppies very, very quickly.
Oh, it'll kill the large ones
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
I
it'll
had
kill
koi
the-
die overnight because of it.
Yeah, ammonia is a silent killer and it happens fast.
Right.
Ammonia is waste,
hmm
and
Now, the smaller your tank is, the more frequently you're going to want to test.
yeah.
I know that sounds like it should be the other way around, but it's not. Larger tanks are actually easier to maintain than smaller ones are
Right, for ammonia and
for things
For
like
those,
ammonia and
yeah.
nitrogen, because there's more water
right
to disperse
to
around.
disperse the waste and the things.
Right.
Smaller tanks at least once a week you have to test.
Mhm.
You have to put that little strip in there and look at the little label and look at the colors, and if they're wrong, the easiest thing for ammonia,
Mhm.
honestly, is to just do a water change. Just do a 50% water change.
Yeah.
They make ammonia tablets, they make pH tablets, they make all the tablets.
Yeah, don't make the mistake of getting ammonia block and thinking you can just keep dumping that in all the time.
Yeah, that doesn't-
That only lasts for 24 hours.
Yeah, that doesn't last forever. So you still need, ammonia, the quickest, easiest way for ammonia to get rid of, if you have ammonia spike, the quickest, easiest thing is to just do a water
Well,
change.
it's actually the only way to get rid of it
Yeah,
completely.
yeah.
Most people do 10% water change every week, but
Yeah.
again, it depends on how heavy your tank's stocked, what kind of fish you
What
have.
kind of fish you have? Like mine, my 10-gallon I used to do once a week, 10 to 15% once a week. And then once it got cycled completely, I was down to maybe once a month.
Yeah, but
so it just
meanwhile-
depends.
Yeah, but meanwhile, like I have a 55 with 2 fantail goldfish, and then I do it 50% every week.
Right, it just depends on
Because
the
they're
type
big
of fish. And they're also carp.
Yeah, and they're also carp.
Carp or dirty fish. I don't
Yeah.
care what she says. They're
But
not.
like with my rope fish, who also have the pleco in there, and have a bunch of tetras in there, I do about, I'd say 25% every week.
Yeah.
Whether
yeah, it
they
just
need
depends.
it or not.
And mine with all the guppies and the mollies and the such, I do about a 10%, maybe once every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So I mean, it just depends. You're going to learn that, and if you have any questions about that, by all means comment below. We will find out if we don't know for sure.
Right.
But yeah, it is kind of important. And we were talking about the test kits. So we had the ammonia. Ammonia is a big one.
Yeah.
And then there's the nitrates, nitrites,
pH and water
pH
hardness.
and water hardness.
And depending on the type of fish
it matters.
we'll tell you, when you do research on the type of fish you have, we keep fish that do well with the well water, that do well with hard water.
Right.
So all we really keep an eye out is nitrate, nitrite, and ammonia.
Right.
We don't have to worry about pH or hardness.
Right.
But if we were keeping more fragile fish, then we would be paying more attention to those parameters.
Right, and it just depends. I mean, like the guppies, the mollies, they all do great in hard water. They all do great, So I mean, the only thing we really have to watch is the ammonia, the nitrates, the nitrites, whatever those are.
Yeah, I mean the
I'm
only,
horrible with those. That's a Garrett thing.
Yeah, the only really sensitive fish we have are Garrett's black rams, and he just uses spring water, which is pretty much zero. So.
I mean, literally 10 gallons of spring water had to be bought
Yeah.
for these stupid little fish because we spoil them and they have their own 10-gallon tank.
Well, because they wouldn't survive otherwise. when
Right.
he's trying
Yeah,
to
they
breed
did.
them.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so that's a good thing to have is the kit. You want to buy the little test strips and you want to do it about once a week.
Yeah.
For the smaller tanks.
When you're first starting out, you're going to want to do it every couple of days until you have everything cycled out.
Right. Because you got to watch it and then just the smaller tanks, the ammonia spikes quick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're talking one day. It's perfectly normal. The next day, all your fish are dead in ammonia because you had an ammonia spike. And it happens fast in a 10-gallon.
Now you're probably wondering, how do I get so much ammonia in there that would spike all of a sudden? Do my fish have diarrhea or something? No, but you might have a dead fish in there,
Yeah,
or you might
can't
have
see.
food.
Too much food.
Uneaten
Too much food is a bad thing.
Uneaten food will break down. That causes an ammonia spike. Same with a dead fish that you don't see, especially if you have like a large school of small fish. It's really easy not to see.
Yeah, and they tend to, like guppies, and I don't think you believe me, but guppies literally when they die, they bury themselves in that darn mulch, listen to me, mulch.
Mm-hmm.
They bury themselves in the rocks, and I don't know how they do it, but a lot of times, and then you don't notice until you go to clean them, and it's like, oh dang, there's a fish. So I mean, yeah, it can happen, and especially in a 10-gallon, one dead fish will cause an ammonia spike within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of watch that.
Yeah.
So it is very important.
These tanks are more hardy than you think.
Yeah.
Now,
But again, once you get it fully cycled,
yeah, once you get it fully cycled,
which can take 6 months, a year sometimes, depending on the
it
person.
depends on the size.
Depends
what
on the
kind
size of the
There's
fish,
so
right.
many variables.
Right. I think my tank when I came here and I put the tank in the room, I want to say it took about 3 months of me playing with it and to get the levels right to stop losing the little because guppies are I know the fancy guppies the pretty guppies that I have, the Amazon guppies, are very fragile. And so they were dying left and right till I got that thing, fully, perfectly balanced. So, it happens. You're going to lose, sometimes you're going to lose a couple fish.
But you're also talking to 55 too.
Right.
You're not talking to 10.
Yeah. So just kind of be careful, don't buy, we're not talking about saltwater, by the way, because we don't know anything about it.
Yeah, we never talk about saltwater.
I wouldn't go buying really expensive fish at the beginning until you learn better what you need.
Well, they tend to have like beginner fish, intermediate fish, advanced fish.
Right.
Yeah, we can handle some of the advanced fish.
Now,
but several years ago.
yeah, when I first started,
no.
I can't even tell you how many fish I killed. I feel so bad because I just didn't know. I didn't know. And if you have questions, concerns, comments, just comment, ask us. We will let you know. We will help you through it.
We'll try to find out if we don't know.
Yeah, if we don't know, if you have a fish that we don't know about and you want to buy it and want to see how it will do, let us know. We would be happy to tell you, to find out for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we are all about helping people.
Yeah, and then let's talk about the Shiva way of setting up.
We forgot to talk about heaters.
Oh, I forgot about, some fish need those.
Yeah, some fish do.
Some fish, Amazon fish like warmer water.
Yeah, basically tropicals, heaters.
Tropical fish need.
And then the other type of fish are called cold water fish. Guess why?
Yeah.
Basically your carp or cold water
Right.
fish. Pretty much most of the fish that you find in aquariums are going to be tropicals.
Right.
Tropicals are pretty
And
colorful.
it's anywhere from 74 to 78 degrees-ish is what they like?
Some of them higher, like
Yeah.
with Gareth, when he's trying to breed, he'll knock the water up to over 80. depending on the fish, but that's for ramps. Right now, he's got them low, but...
I was going to say it's only 76. I can see the water temp. She has a digital one. It's really neat. But yeah, heaters are important, right, for the tropicals. I mean, and again, you go with, usually the heaters they come with a little booklet that tells you the basic types of fish, or Google is an amazing thing that will tell you what the fish prefer.
Just if you're going to Google something, get at least 3 references.
Yes,
Make sure 3 people agree.
Yes, we did. And also, we bought you want to buy a little thermometer.
Yep.
That may or may not come with the 10-gallon starter kits. I don't know. If you don't, definitely get one. You have to know the temperature of the water. It is very, very important.
Right.
Most of them have little ranges on them that say this is the tropical fish range.
Yeah.
And it's literally a different color. You can't miss it. Now the new ones are all digital.
Yeah, we've got a beautiful digital one.
Which I want one of those now. But the heaters are great. But like I said, thermometers are important so you know what the temperature of your water is.
Right.
It's very important for tropicals. I mean, it really is. I didn't even think of that. I'm so used to it. I don't even think. I just something I do have it.
I think about the fact that we've got we breed plecos, so we always keep the water warm for them for breeding.
Right.
And then we've got like the ropefish, which like warmer water.
Right.
So we always keep a heater with them, and of course we keep heaters with our betas because betas are actually tropical fish.
Right.
And I know that you usually see betas in little bowls and that's it, but no, we do the whole 9 yards for our betas. Yeah. They get heaters and lights and air bubbles and filters.
Yeah. Our betas are spoiled. Yeah. They have their own fish friends just because you don't want them to be bored.
Well, no, we did that because we have sororities and we didn't want them
going after each other. I know. But yeah, I mean, so heater. I didn't even think of it. I'm sorry. Yes, heaters are very important.
I was just looking at the one in the room.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm looking at the one right now. I'm literally looking at a heater right in front of me. Didn't even think of it because it's just something that I'm so used to. Again, so used to doing.
And the other thing is ornaments. Some fish actually need them. They're not just there to be pretty for some fish. When you're talking about like fish that need hidey holes,
right.
Fish that
like Lucifer has to have Lucifer has to have a hidey hole.
Something I do when it comes to ornaments is I have a selection of different ornaments and I just rotate them around. Like I'll put, I have 2 different caves for the ropefish. One's a regular cave and the other one's like a log. And I switch them on every time I do a water change. I switch out the ornaments. Gives the fish something variety to look at. They don't get bored.
Yeah, I don't change mine out, but I usually will move them around on them when I do the water change.
Yeah.
And that's a personal preference. I mean, we try to stimulate our fish to do, we put different things in there. We've had other episodes where we talk about the different types of food and stuff. We do the same thing with ornaments. We play with them. I move mine around so that they have to, figure it out and it gives them some kind of stimulation.
It's enrichment.
Yeah.
Basically.
And yes, we are those people.
Yeah, we are. But we have happy fish that last a lot longer than people would think they would.
Right. So that's the basic setups. Now let's talk about us and in this house.
Yep.
Now keep in mind again we have 13 total fish tanks? 12 total fish tanks.
We've got 12 right now.
12 right now. Is that including mine?
We have 12 tanks. That's including yours.
Okay.
We have 12 tanks and we have 3 ponds that have fish in them.
So we have lots and lots and lots of bacteria-laden.
Yes, we do. We also have
stuff.
We also have the indoor koi pond, which holds, I forgot exactly. I think we have 300 pounds of river rock in that pond. Plus, we have a gigantic external filter that is filled with scrubbies and other media that we would put in filters. So when we set up a new tank, we just literally pull one of the sponge filters. We have pull sponges.
We pull sponges, but we pull when we set it up. There's usually a new sponge filter. We usually put that in one of the existing tanks that already has 2 nice bacteria-laden ones, and we put the new one in that one. Then we take the old one and put it in the new tank.
Yeah, we always
and then we take some of the bacteria sponges out of the thing, a couple of the rocks out of the. Then we just throw all the bacteria-laden stuff in the new tank, and we are good to go. Day 1, minute 1, tank is good to go as soon as we add water.
Yeah, we basically have pre-primed materials.
We don't have to wait the week. We don't have to wait the month. We don't have to wait the day.
Yeah,
we've done it in 20 minutes.
I mean, honestly, a lot of the times when we set up a new tank, it's for an emergency anyway. So we have to be able to just set one up and have it ready to go from the minute we get it. So that's what we do.
So we keep usually most of our larger tanks have at least 2 of the sponge filters in them.
So we
do keep new filters here, at least 1 extra sponge filter, new one that we haven't used, So if we do have a new emergency tank, we literally take the new one, put it in where the old tanks, take the old one and put it in the new tank, and we're good to go.
Now keep in mind, we usually keep 2 sponge filters per tank, so we're only taking 1 out. We're not.
Right, we're not taking both.
Totally depriving.
Right. As I said, we always have 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think every tank here has at least 2. Well,
Except
I mean, big
for the
tank,
betas.
the big tanks all have 2.
Yeah.
So we couldn't take the betas, but I mean, and also like I said, the rocks from the koi pond, the sponge filters from the koi pond, with all the bacteria on them. I mean,
the sponge, not the filter.
The sponge.
But the sponges.
There's
that
little.
we put the
Okay,
filter.
yeah, we'd have to show you that. It's like
the scrubbies.
The scrubbies, yeah. There's what, maybe 50 of them in there.
Oh no, more than that. I've got footage of the inside of that thing because we did an episode on how we built that filter.
Yeah, so there's a lot.
So there is a
so we take
supply.
A couple of them. Don't worry, we don't take all of them. Just to give us a quick bacteria base.
Right,
basically.
And then if it's a large tank, we'll squirt some Start Right in there as well.
I always squirt Start Right in regardless. So just to be safe, it doesn't hurt anything. It just helps relieve stress.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt anything.
But that's how we're able to start tanks up as quickly as we do. So you'll hear us talk about, okay, we're going to get this fish, and then you find out next week we've got it. How did they do that without cycling their tanks? Well,
yeah.
We cheat.
Well, I mean, yeah,
but we can.
We can. We're able to. Unless you have multiple tanks, that's not going to work for you. You have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Or you can come see us. We can give you some stuff. If you're close by all means visit.
Great.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Great idea, Sandy.
We're giving them the wrong address.
Yes, we are. Yes, we're at 555 Main Street in Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Yeah,
Cleveland,
yeah.
Florida. We already told them we're in Florida.
Yeah, Cleveland,
There
Florida.
probably is a Cleveland, Florida. Who knows?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, honestly, it's we get to cheat. It's great because if you have a sick fish and we want to put up a fish, or if we get new fish, like we're going to be getting. Well, I mean, the tank's already there. But we're going to be getting the new fish. We got a new tank. We set it up. We put fish in it day 1. Everybody's fine. Everybody's happy.
Yep.
So I mean, it's a great thing to do. But again, if you're a new fish owner, or if you have fish and you just have the 1 tank, that's not something you can do.
Right. You really have to have a pre-cycled tank and a large one that can.
Now sometimes, I mean, like now I do know that the fish store that I went to down where I used to live, he offers people bacteria stuff.
Yeah.
With new fish tanks. He asked them if they wanted
cycled water,
cycled water and or some materials. So your fish tank will. Your fish tank store. A lot of the not the box stores won't, but if you go to a smaller fish store, they are very helpful. They want your fish to live. They don't want your fish to die. I mean, box stores could care less, but a regular fish store, they want your repeat business, but they want your fish to live so that you're happy with them, so that you come back to them and refer them.
Yeah.
So they will test your water. They will, which is a good new people. That's a good option too. Bring your water and have them test before you put any fish in it to make sure it's okay.
Right.
That is one other way that they could cheat, I guess.
If
so you can cheat too, yay!
Yeah, if you happen to have a mom and pop place around there that does.
Right.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't trust the box stores as much.
I wouldn't trust the box. I don't think they would. I don't even know if they would give you water.
Even if they did, I don't necessarily trust the people that work there. No offense if you work at a place, but a lot of the places I've gone to, they couldn't tell me the parameters of fish water.
They didn't know what Roomba was.
They didn't know what Roomba was. Yeah, Roomba, my Chinese pleco.
Yeah. She's not a Chinese.
By the way, if you look up Chinese pleco, you're going to find it's a software program.
Yeah. So yeah, it's. I mean, they work. And I'm not saying they do a bad job. They just don't know.
Yeah.
It's not their life. I mean, they don't live fish. A fish store, these people live fish. A person at a pet's, one of the big box stores, they're
punching a time clock.
They're an employee, and they know a little bit about a lot of things. Yeah. And again, if you have any questions, comments, like, share, subscribe, shop.
Yeah.
Shop. Check us out on Facebook.
Yeah, all of our links on how you can find out all about us, and probably more than you ever wanted to know about us, are in our description below here on YouTube.
And again, comments. We love comments. We love questions. We love. I mean, if you disagree with something we're saying, by all means, bring it up.
Yeah.
We'll check into what you're saying, and if you're right, we will apologize.
Yeah.
I will apologize. I will call you out by name and apologize if I'm completely wrong about something, because God knows I'm wrong a lot.
Yeah.
So.
But keep in mind, a lot of the times we're talking from personal experience, and our results may be different than yours. If your water's different than ours, then you might be like, those girls are crazy. What do you mean that they were able to start a tank up at day 1? Well.
Yeah, let us know. I mean, we love comments. We love questions. We love disagreements.
Yeah, we argue all the time.
Yeah. I'm so easy to get along with.
No, you're not married to Gareth. We argue all the time.
Oh, well, I argue with Gareth, and I'm not married to him.
I know.
But yes, I mean, again, any questions, and we would love to hear from you. You have a great night.
Yeah, bye.